Hello, everyone. Dart Sinovia here once again. Now, unlike the last end of the month stream, which was an embarrassment, and a debate bro came here and tried to, disrupt it, and I thought he was here in good faith, I'm not going to be allowing such a thing again because, in all honesty, I'm not interested in debate bro culture. And while I'm at it, I might as well give my thoughts, even though I already did in the community tab, at least for the first portion of this, my thoughts on that debate between Haas and Jason. In all honesty, I don't get the hype around Haas. He's a fucking moron. Every single thing that came out of his mouth in that debate was nothing more than like pseudo-intellectual nonsense. Like, not once in that debate did I see Jason's points addressed at all. It was deflecting, changing the subject constantly, then saying some stupid shit that doesn't make sense. And not to mention borderline fucking just doing sort of genocide denying. And fucking, it's like, in order to fucking make a win, it seems like for his audience, he was willing to make fascist talking points. It's like, fuck. How does anyone take this fucking guy seriously is beyond me. Like, what? Because he freaking does the same shit Vosh does? It's like, I don't see any difference between the infrared fucking cult and Vosh. It's just nothing more than toxic fucking debate bro freaking bullshit. And it's not something that I'm interested in. I'm really not. And the fact that this guy is held to a fucking pedestal as the pinnacle of Marxism, Leninism is a fucking joke. It's a sick joke. I mean, really? Really? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to make an ass of myself, say asinine things, think it's borderline fucking stupid. He knows his audience is dumb. They'll eat it up. I mean, then afterwards, fucking seething and coping that he fucking made an ass of himself and lost the debate. Like, anyone that says that he won are fooling themselves. He made no argument. He made no counterpoint to anything Jason said. He didn't refute anything. He constantly changed the subject. And when you're changing the subject, when you're losing, I'm sorry. That's not a person that's won a debate. You don't win debates by changing the subject. I mean, this is the kind of shit I would expect from Ben Shapiro. Like, I hold, Marxists at a higher standard. And that embarrassing debate with those two was like, oh, God. Now, I'm not going to say that, that one part of the debate where Jason took out the toy gun was the best thing he could have done. In fact, I think that probably was not the best idea. But if you're going to criticize Jason just for doing that, if that's your best argument, then that you have nothing against, Jason that's actually substantial. Debate the fucking points. Not once in that debate did I see Haas properly because I didn't see one good argument against Jason's position. Not one. And culture, like the Caleb cult does, yet they do the exact same thing as freaking, Vosh. It's like that's all Haas is. He's essentially a smarter Vosh. And that's freaking all there is to it. And I don't really want to talk about the debate anymore. It's just, I just want to just talk about it at the beginning of the stream. It's just that the debate was like cancer. I don't recommend anyone to watch it. It's like, I wish I would not have wasted like almost 2 fucking hours watching that debate. If you are curious about the debate, just watch Socialism for All's breakdown of it. He may not break down the whole debate, but all you need to do to understand why the debate is a waste of time, why you shouldn't even spend 2 hours. The first like 15 to 16 minutes of the debate is all you need to watch in that debate. There's nothing of substance that's being discussed. All it is going back and forth. Haas doesn't make any good points, and anyone that says that obviously has a bias against Jason. And I know people are going to throw, oh, you're just biased because you're a Jason fanboy. No, I'm looking at things objectively here. And Haas is a fucking idiot. He doesn't sound like a fucking Marxist. He doesn't sound like a leftist. He sounds like your stereotypical right-winger. Like, all of his points is stuff I've heard from the right wing. And if you're supposed to try to gather support for people, you don't fucking just cater to the worst of the masses. You cater to the people that are willing to listen. I mean, this is not a fucking contest here. It's like this fucking LARP for like, oh my god, I just want to grow my numbers. Yeah, well, you're exactly the kind of audience he's aiming for, Bora Man. And no, I'm not gonna bother with your bullshit. No. I don't fucking debate fascists. And I know, don't worry for those of you who want me to talk about other things. I'm just getting this point across because people, are inevitably going to be asking me what do I think of the Jason and Haas debate, and I'm giving that out of the way. Don't waste your fucking time with the debate. There's nothing of any significance to gain by the debate. All it is a shouting match. All it is straw manning. All it is just your stereotypical thing you would see from a right winger like Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder do when they debate leftists. That's all it fucking is. It's like this fucking LARPing culture that Haas has accumulated is literal cancer. This is not what we need, on the left. This is not what we fucking need. And if your priority is just to grow as your audience as big as possible, then you're not a fucking serious Marxist. You're a careerist who just doing this for a career. That's exactly what this is. You're not a serious Marxist if you actually are prioritizing that. If you aren't going to prioritize the truth or telling things how they actually are, then I'm sorry. I cannot take you seriously as a Marxist. Like, you want to do your, like, far-right fucking patriotism nonsense? You can do that all you want. Just don't fucking call yourself a Marxist. Just don't fucking call yourself a Marxist. And that's my final say on the matter. I don't want to talk about that debate. It was literal cancer. I saw that. I haven't seen the episode, but I saw that clip of Ultron, taking out, Thanos like he was nothing. Now, just... Oh, God, I literally forgot about the review of the 2003 series. I am so sorry. I literally forgot. Knowing what me, if I ever review it, it's like I'm probably got to make a joke. Oh yeah, finally, yeah. I'm sorry, for announcing something that took me X amount of years to finally do. Family Guy is garbage. It really is. Family Guy is fucking trash. Like, it's just reactionary fucking garbage. All it is just a bunch of... It's the same kind of fucking jokes that has been done since the late 1990s, like what was, and it just isn't funny. It really isn't funny. Family Guy is just the same fucking bullshit every fucking season, and it's the same, like, kind of joke, the same kind of freaking random ass humor. It's like, it was funny when it was, like, at the very beginning, when, like, there wasn't, like, that many episodes, there's so many damn episodes of Family Guy. It's like, wow. I'm just gonna be honest here. Even classic Family Guy isn't really that good. Like, if you look, okay, let's be real. If you watch classic Simpsons and then compare them to classic Family Guy, there's just no comparison which show has actually aged better. I actually think classic Simpsons is better than Family Guy in every single way. The jokes are funnier. I think the episodes are more memorable. I actually think they actually stayed true to the series' roots. The Simpsons, at the time, was it basically criticized everything, that all the shows were doing, family sitcoms, and all the other nonsense about families, being perfect. I mean, The Simpsons was one of the first shows. It wasn't the first. One of the first shows to actually portray a more realistic, how families truly are, not with what we were fed to, at least our parents or younger siblings may have been fed to when they were kids. The Simpsons, basically poked fun at that, and it also pokes fun at popular trends too. And the unfortunate thing about The Simpsons, for it to stay relevant, it had no choice but to become the very thing that it criticized. That is why, in my opinion, classic Simpsons, despite that era being long behind it, there's still enough good material in that era where I can go back to it and say, wow, these episodes are still good episodes. If you look at that Family Guy, like what we would probably say classic Family Guy, which is the first 3 seasons, you cannot tell me that though they have the same feel, the same like, wow, these were good episodes. They're not. Family Guy has always been bad. Always. It's always been a bad show. It's been a bad show from the very start. And the only reason why many of my generation liked it when it did, because The Simpsons got stale at that point. And Family Guy was something, new at the time. The humor was like, wow, I can't believe they actually said that or did that. It's like, yeah. But then again, when Family Guy returned after it was canceled, it just became the very thing that it fucking made fun of and criticized, just like The Simpsons before it. Had Family Guy stayed canceled, it would have been remembered as a classic instead of being like the terrible show that it became. Family Guy should have stayed canceled. It would not have been as good as a lot of people say it was the first few seasons, but at least it would have been a cult classic. It doesn't have that status, in my opinion, at this point. It was better off as one. Because The Simpsons, despite how you feel about the modern, iteration of the show, those classic episodes, there's a lot of memorable moments in those episodes, and there's a lot of great episodes in that era. The same can't be said for Family Guy. You cannot say, Family Guy has that same quality that The Simpsons did in the early seasons. And the problem I have with shows that are that are comedic or sitcoms in general, whatever you want to call them, when they start getting into their depending on, it's different for each show, but the longer the show goes on, the worse that it gets. Like once the show reaches its peak, you see a decline. You're not going to notice it right away, but it will decline over time to the point where you don't recognize the show that you once liked. The Simpsons was the exact same way. It didn't when its classic era ended, when the golden age of The Simpsons ended, it didn't appear right away that The Simpsons show was going downhill because the quality of the episodes didn't dip as fast as you would see from Family Guy. I mean, Family Guy, I don't even know why I watched it after season 3. I mean, season 4, I liked it at first because, oh, Family Guy returned. This is awesome. Season 5, I enjoyed it. Season 6. But then when you got further and further into Family Guy, the episodes started, the humor stopped getting funny. It's because, I really find, humor that's basically just punching down, not funny. I think, the kind of humor that Family Guy has is just, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny having the kind of humor that constantly punches down at people. And that's what this Family Guy, became. It is at this current iteration. Its humor is mean spirited. It's not funny. I don't find any of the jokes funny at this point. And the early seasons, a lot of the jokes it's like, this is so 90s. This is not a timeless, show. Yeah, sure. Classic Simpsons does have some things in the early seasons that haven't aged well, but there's so much more things about the Simpsons in those early years you could go back to and, like, wow, this was a good show. Hell, even the newer incarnations of the Simpsons, as bad as it is, there's still some hidden gems in the later seasons. Family Guy doesn't have that. It doesn't have that at all. I did not even see the Venom movie, actually. Honestly, yeah, Stewie. Stewie was probably the only good character in the current iteration of Family Guy. Brian, I can't fucking stand the character. I used to like him, you know, in the early years until he just became an obnoxious asshole. Like, every character in the show of Family Guy changed for the worst. Peter became more of a sociopathic fucking asshole. You know, I forgot. Well, Lois became more of a bitch. Freaking Chris became more of a dumbass. Meg is just a punching bag for jokes. Like, okay, we get it. We get it. Okay, we don't like Meg. It's like, come on, that gets old. That, like, the Meg joke, it's like, you've been doing this for almost 20 years. Like, do you have anything else that's funny? It's like, at this point, it's just no longer funny. It's just cringe. Anyway, I would say the first, like, 8 to 9 seasons of The Simpsons were great. Every season after that, I would say was a dip. Was it basically a dip in quality? Though I'm gonna have to revisit those Simpsons episodes because I can't say for sure. I mean, a lot of the classic era of Simpsons, it's been like, Jesus, almost 20 years since I've seen some of those episodes, so I cannot say for 100% certainty. And I wouldn't say the first 20 seasons. Jesus. Anyway, um, I agree. I don't know. Baby boomers. Do you mean Gen Xers? I don't know. I don't get their logic. I'm not a I am not a watcher of Robot Chicken. So I cannot comment one way or the other about Robot Chicken. Let's see. I'm just looking. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just looking. I have not. I have not. I have no opinion about the sequel to Venom. I have. As for Spider-Man: No Way Home, I'll probably watch it. I mean, it is Spider-Man after all. I forgot American Dad existed. I really did. Yeah, James Bond is fucking stupid. I don't understand how anyone could like watch the James Bond franchise. It's like, yeah, those movies. Oh, yeah. It's like your guys are fighting over something so stupid. It's like all it is just a power fantasy. That's all it is. I don't understand how anyone could like honestly, say, "Oh my god, this is great." I mean, this is like one of the greatest things I've seen. It's like, no, it's stupid. I don't understand how James Bond got as popular as it did. It's just dumb. It's just a power fantasy, and all these anti SJWs like James Bond is going woke. It's like, what? It's like, who fucking cares? James Bond is a stupid action movie that's freaking, in a nutshell, all it is just a fucking power fantasy. Jesus. Fuck. I don't watch Adult Swim, actually. It's just, I never saw the appeal of the James Bond movies. I just think that, okay, they're action movies. Fine. But why is there so goddamn many of these things, and why are people still watching them? It's like, I really do not understand how anyone could say that, like, this is like some great fucking movies. There's not. It's just not very good, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of James Bond. There's no point. I mean, if they're stuck in their ways, I would just whatever. I mean, if it really is convoluted, then what is that? What do you say about what does that say about the new canon that Disney has made? I mean, the new canon is far more convoluted than the EU ever was. But I'm not gonna get into another Star Wars rant because this isn't the stream for it. Jesus fucking Christ. God, this guy doesn't know when to quit. Oh, Boroman, Jesus, get a life, dude. Fucking Christ, relax. Jesus, you're like more pathetic than Andre Sedino. I mean, seriously, relax. Get a fucking life and stop fucking stalking me. I mean, don't you have anything more productive to do than to stalk me for whatever reason? I mean, seriously, relax. Relax. Nobody's good. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just a guy on the internet. All right. Okay. Fine. Now, I haven't even talked about the Mario Brothers movie that's like being made. Oh, why, 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 and why? Yeah, I do have a thumbnail of like Shiva. I can't even pronounce his name. Shivsek as Mario, which would probably be an entertaining fucking watch. I mean, hearing that guy's voice as Mario would be funny. Fuck, but oh god, the casting of the movie. Chris Pine, I think that's his name, as Mario. I don't how does that fit? And I forgot who's doing Luigi and Peach. Jack Black as Bowser. I mean, what? Seriously, what? Jack Black as Bowser? What? Seriously, what? That literally doesn't make any sense. Jack Black as Bowser. Or Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. It's like, Jesus. Why are we still making video game movies in 2021? Why? I know they're going to do, like, it's going to be animation, but this movie sounds like it's going to be terrible. Oh, God. Chris Pine as fucking Mario. Mario! Fucking Christ. That's not real. That's not real. It's just the thumbnail. It was just a joke. I didn't make the thumbnail, actually. Danny DeVito is Wario. Danny DeVito is Wario. That... Jesus. It's like this. Like, this sounds like it's gonna make the live action Mario Brothers movie of the '90s look like a masterpiece. It's like, oh God, it sounds horrible. It's like, what the fuck are we actually going to be seeing with this movie? What's the story going to be for this movie? Why does Mario, of all franchises, getting a freaking movie? Like, there's other Nintendo IPs that would be more suited for a fucking... movie. Zelda, Metroid, freaking... I mean, Metroid would be an interesting movie if you had Ridley, maybe have Ridley Scott direct it, or maybe not. Who knows? It isn't real. None of it. It's just Shiva. I mean, Chief Shivak as Mario would be fucking funny. Like, where the Mercs is Bowser? I don't know why you are saying what you're saying. Where the Mercs? Where the Mercs? Okay, that was bad impression. Really bad. I can't do it. I really cannot do it. But him as fucking Bowser, him as Mario, that would fucking... I'd pay to see that. I would literally pay to see that. It'd be funny. It'd be the funniest shit ever. Yes. Yes, she is. I really don't know what the Mario movie is going to be about. And Donkey Kong, why is he in this movie? Oh, who knows what it's going to be. It's like, it could be anything. It's like, of all the franchises, why not Zelda or Mario? I mean, not Mario, Metroid. There's a lot more you could work with. I mean, Metroid, you could probably do a horror movie, but nobody wants to. I guess Nintendo just wants to do Mario. Oh, God, the Minions. Fuck. I hate those goddamn things. No, I'm not joking. I hate those things. I hate the Minions. I think the Minions are the most obnoxious and annoying freaking thing that has come out of movies in recent memory. I cannot stand those things. I really cannot. Rob Zombie's directing a Tube TV series. Sorry, I was getting something. Oh, God. But in all seriousness, why the hell do we need a Mario Brothers movie? I mean, there's so much things we could fucking do. So much other IPs that we could fucking... that have yet to be tapped, or create a new IP. It's like, yeah, let's just do video games because it's easy to make fucking video games. Wait, what? No. You can't be fucking. Okay, no. I gotta look this up. No, this cannot be. Oh God, no, this. I gotta look this up. I seriously gotta look this up. There's no way. Oh my God. Holy shit. There's no way. Come on. He really ranted about that? Seriously? Seriously? They're not going to make a Metroid movie. It's like, it's stupid. Why would you even complain about such a thing that's never going to happen? But hey, this is Geeks and Gamers. So I'll just look it up. All right. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything. It might have been a longer stream. Oh my God. I should not have even gone to Geeks and Gamers. It's like, good God. Do you fucking people, it's like these people, their thumbnails suck. It's the same damn fucking thumbnail. Once you've seen one thumbnail from Geeks and Gamers, you've seen them all. Yeah, I think he secretly loves Brea Larson. I think he's just jealous because she won't pay attention to him. He's probably secretly a simp for Brea Larson, and he just hasn't revealed it yet. Oh God, you it's your fault, Christopher Parker. Now you've tempted me, and I'm gonna have to look it up. There's no, I'm probably gonna regret it. I'm probably gonna like, why did I do that? Probably gonna regret this. But hey, it's all. What the? All right. God. Okay. I probably should not let my curiosity get the whole best of me because, as they said, the curiosity killed the cat. I cannot believe I'm fucking doing this. Fucking Christ. This fucking thing is taking a forever to load. Shit. All right. Fucking Christ. This is taking forever. Okay. People. All right. All right. That's not going to work. Hey. Hey, Rayman. What's up? Too many. At some point, Hollywood's gonna resort to doing remakes. Yeah, you're gonna see lots of remakes, and it's not going to end. It's gonna make you nostalgic for freaking. It's gonna make you. because Hollywood doesn't have any original ideas. All they have in terms of ideas is fucking remakes and sequels. I mean, what do you think the Star Wars sequel trilogy was? The Star Wars sequel trilogy was a remake of disguised as a sequel. Like every single movie of the sequel trilogy was essentially a remake of the film that came before it. Yeah. All right. Wow. 7 dislikes. I wonder where those come from. Is it coming from the Boroman, army accounts? Wow. People certainly have a hate crush on me. All right. Ah, damn it. Fucking Christ, this computer. Sorry if it's taking forever. Just fucking Christ almighty. This computer is taking forever to load. Well, now that I've finally it's finally loaded, let's see what let's have some fun with Let's see what D Day Cobra, his main account, is up to. Sorry if my internet connection is shit. It's just I can't do anything about that. I have Spectrum, which sucks too. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Ah, perhaps I should not be doing this. Fucking Christ. Just wait till the Marvels come out. The Phantom Menace is just a bunch of reactionary fucking people bitching about like everything. Fucking Christ. Fucking Christ. This my computer is a piece of shit. So I'm sorry, people. It's just okay. Okay. Oh my god. Fucking Christ. Damn it. Okay, this is a piece of shit. Hello? Okay, yeah. My internet is fucking acting up. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I have no clue. My internet's really fucking acting up. So sorry for the delay. Now I'm just going to show you the loveliness of fucking Geeks and Gamers fucking main channel. Now I'm not going to react to any videos because, oh, good God, I don't want to. I do. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. But look at this. Look at this fucking. Look at these thumbnails. They're fucking garbage. This is what fucking. This is what passes out as fucking. It's like these thumbnails are all the same. There is no difference. Jesus. Jesus, this guy. My man. What? Yeah, and he's, oh, I'm not political. Look, what does this fucking say? You defend fucking someone have it saying police lives matter? It's like, wow. Anti BLM fucking, of course, and I'm not gonna fucking defend Joe Biden because fuck Joe, fucking dementia Joe. And of course, his hate boner for AOC, don't care. AOC is a fucking fascist who hung out with the fucking opposition of Bolivia. So fuck AOC. So I'm not going to defend her. It's like, God, this is just. He's still sipping for Trump. What is wrong with you? I should not have done. Oh. Oh. I can't believe people. I can't believe anyone takes him seriously. Why? Why? He just fucking he has the same gun. When you okay, the reason I don't watch Jeremy is you've seen one video of his and you've seen them all. They're the same video on repeat 1,000 times. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I love it. These people, I remember in 2016, people like them were telling, yo, Hillary supporters, get over it. Hillary lost. These people can't get over their man Trump lost. It's like they can't get over it. They really can't. They should join the infrared cult because I think they would fit just fine with fucking Oz. I mean, Oz wants to get these middle class reactionaries. Hey, talk to Geeks and Gamers. You might actually get support from them. Oh my God. And I know, yeah, and Alex Jones did appear on their show like a few weeks ago. It's like, mask off. We're not political. Puts, Alex Jones on their fucking channel. It's like, yeah, you can't get any more political than Alex Jones. You really can't. The fucking Alex Jones. Oh god. He's a fucking meme. He's literally a fucking meme. I don't know how anyone takes Alex Jones seriously. I really don't. You know what? Let's watch that clip really about it. Come on. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. Come on. Let's watch it together. Let's react to it. Let's react to it. If it's still fucking on there. Let's do it. We're going to react to it. Oh god. Do I really want to expose myself to this? Do I really want to do this? Do I? I think I'm going to freaking okay. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. We are doing it. Oh god. Okay, is this the clip I'm looking for? Please tell me. What the fuck?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking
What
frog gay.
the fuck? Okay. I don't know if this is the clip or whatever. I'm playing it anyway. Well, I'm showing it. All right, people. Okay. Let's do this. Oh god.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frog gay.
What
Do
the
you
fuck?
understand that? Turn the freaking frog gay. Shit, crap gay. Freaking frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay frogs.
What the fuck?
Won't you fight for your life?
What?
Freaking frogs. I don't like a frog. Freaking frogs. Frogs. Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs.
Okay, I don't know if people heard that.
Place point.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna do this one more time because I don't think. Okay, let's do this one more time. This is too funny not to watch it. God.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the freaking frog gay. Shit, crap gay. Frogs, freaking frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow.
I cannot believe people take this seriously.
Won't you fight for your life? Gay frogs, freaking frogs. I don't like a frog.
Holy shit.
Gay freaking frogs. Frogs. Freaking frog crap. Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs. Place point.
Oh my god, that was fucking funny. Oh god, that was fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking funny. Holy shit. Oh, God. They already are. They already are InfoWars, except for Star Wars. It's like fucking a lot of these people are crazy. It's like they complain about the stupidest nonsense. I mean, to this very day, they are still butthurt over a fucking movie. It's like I wouldn't. It's like they're still butthurt over The Last Jedi. They treat fucking Star Wars like it's a fucking religion, and they're fucking man children. That's what they are. They're man children. It's like anyone that's complaining about The Last Jedi in 2021 could like seriously reevaluate your life. Seriously, reevaluate your life. If you're still like complaining about a movie that came out in 2017, it's like I can't believe it's almost been 4 years since that fucking shit has come out. 4 years. And these people are still butthurt over it. I hate The Last Jedi as much as the next guy, but come on. There has to come a time where you have to move on. And majority of the people that have moved on, you know, are not following the fandom menace at this point. It's like those people who are still fixated on it, they're not following the fandom menace for the fandom stuff. They're following it for their fucking politics too. It's like, if that wasn't the case, then why is there no left-leaning people in their like movement? It's exclusively far right. There's no room for a moderate person in the fandom menace. The further, the longer you're part of the fandom menace, the more likely you're going to be pulled right if you follow them. There's no way you're not going to. It's one of the reasons I left. Because I've seen people that have, been friendly with the fandom menace that are supposedly left wing, and they just been pulled right. Like every time you get involved with a group that's exclusively right wing, you're not going to pull them left. They're going to pull you right, and that's what has happened. I mean, I've known people that were on the center, and they became as far right as fucking Jeremy is. There's just no way you could actually exist in those kind of circles. This is why I go by the notion there is no left wing, equivalent in any geek culture. I think it's infantile to try to say that geek culture is left wing. What is left wing about racism? What is left wing about classism? Because there is a lot of classism in geek culture. Majority of these people are overwhelmingly middle class, and they're very classist to people who are not as wealthy as them or doesn't have as much wealth as them, and they're not welcomed into their inner circle. And that is why you have these groups that like enforce copyright. It's like, who gives a shit? Because, not everyone that's a fan of these works have the ability to purchase them because they have other priorities, or they just simply don't have the room for it. And I just do not think you could say that geek culture is anything but reactionary when it's gatekeeping people that are of lower financial position as them. It gatekeeps people that simply do not agree with their bullshit. It's like, I just don't understand why anyone who's supposedly left wing wants to try to push this stuff. Yeah, there is parts of geek culture that may be left wing. But that is stuff that doesn't really appeal to most of the people anyway. Star Trek is something that appeals mostly to people that have a higher income. It doesn't really appeal as much to people who are of lower income because, when they see something like Star Trek, it's alienating to them because, Star Trek is an intellectual show. I have no problem with that. That's what I love about Star Trek. There's a lot of anti-intellectualism in the lower classes, and for good reason. Intellectuals as a whole talk down to these people and treat them like they're subhuman, like they are stupid and their opinions don't matter. And that's the reason why, those are the only sections I can say do appeal to the left, is because those people on the left are fortunate to be born in a higher, class. Like, they're not poor. Most of these people are middle class that are into this stuff. And I'm not saying you can't be poor and love Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I've been a fan not as long as a lifelong fan has. I mean, I didn't get into it until I was in my 20s, but I love Star Trek. I love its messaging. I think I love what I get out of Star Trek is a better world is possible. That even if we achieve the ultimate goal of socialism, we still are going to have problems that are going to have to be dealt with. There's still a lot of prejudices that we're going to have to overcome. Like, Star Trek doesn't portray a perfect future or a utopia. And that's one of the reasons why I love Deep Space Nine as much as I do. Because Star Trek Deep Space Nine does show that there are negative aspects of the Federation. That this socialist utopia that the Federation is anything but that. They still have a lot of problems they have to deal with, such as, the disabled apparently in the future are still not treated, right in the future. They're still, treated as second-class citizens. Even though I do think it was very dodgy how they handled the, Bashir, having severe learning disability as a child, and he was genetic engineered. I still think that Deep Space Nine as a whole is the best, iteration of Star Trek because it actually tackles the problems of a utopian society, and it also showcases that even if humanity were to reach there, we would still have a long way to go. That our work is far from being done here. And that's what I love about Star Trek. That's what I get out of it. And however, that is not what everyone gets out of Star Trek. There's other right wingers get a completely different thing out of Star Trek. They see Starfleet and they see Starfleet as a benevolent military force, and that's how they see the U.S. military, and that's what they see in Starfleet. Star Trek as a whole is left wing. The fandom is, but I just don't. It's not as big as something like Star Wars. Star Wars, the left wing component that does exist in the Star Wars fandom, is so small and insignificant that you cannot say Star Wars has ever been left wing. The kind of things that Star Wars fans get out of Star Wars is something that a lot of right wingers get out of Star Wars. It's just Star Wars isn't like other science fiction franchises where there's a lot more to think about and to consider. Star Wars is basically a space capitalist feudalist hellhole. And a lot of fans of Star Wars are more fans because of the aesthetic and not because of all the other stuff that is part of the series. I'm a fan of Star Wars for various reasons. I love the spiritual aspect of Star Wars. I love, especially the prequels, how it dives into the rise of fascism and how corporatism, which is what, the Republic was at that point, how corporations, contribute to the rise of fascism, and how people in a system such as the Republic would take advantage of that fact. The prequels did not take away from the originals. In my opinion, it greatly enhanced them because it gives further context on the rise of the Empire. And I know people may think, oh, episode 1, it was stupid. A trade dispute? Actually, wars can start with trade disputes. Wars have started over little things in the past. And I think the rise of the Empire, starting because of that, is not out of the question. There was a lot of problems in the old Republic at that point. The Republic was in decline. There was a lot of corruption. The Republic wasn't doing anything for the people. And there was a lot of people that were dissatisfied with the Republic. There were separatist movements that were forming. Of course, I'm using expanded universe lore here when I'm talking about the Republic. There was a lot of separatist movements that were forming as a result of this. The Republic was in decline and has been for a very long time. And by the time of episode 1, the Republic was it only had a few decades at most before it would completely collapse. It would have fallen into a fascist dictatorship regardless if Palpatine came into power or not. Just Palpatine accelerated its fall to fascism. Palpatine accelerated it. The Republic at most had 4 or 5 decades left before it would have collapsed. Palpatine accelerated that. Palpatine took what would have been 40 or 50 years and had it happen in the span of 13. And what I love about the Star Wars prequels also, it showcased how easy young people can fall into fascism by following charismatic leaders, or how the importance of having father figures and how not having a father figure yourself can make you vulnerable to manipulation. I mean, there's a lot of things I can get into regarding the prequels, but Star Wars, for me, I get something completely different out of Star Wars than a lot of Star Wars fans who are only in it for the aesthetic. I'm in for it for the spiritual side, the political stuff, and I'm also in for it for the characters and the stories. And that's just how it is regarding the Star Wars, fandom as a whole. People with my mindset, we're such a small minority that to exist in the Star Wars fandom as it currently is, we're better off being part of our own groups, because so many fascists in the Star Wars fandom exist. And I know I've said this many times, so what I'm saying is probably repeating myself, but I will repeat myself as many times as necessary because it has to be said. The Star Wars fandom has always had this problem with, fascism in the fandom, because fascists, who are geeks, they get something completely different out of a piece of fiction that they read or watch. They get something completely different out of it than someone who is a centrist or someone who is a leftist. And that's just an undeniable fact that no, you cannot separate your politics when you're reading into something, because your politics to one degree or another is going to influence how you look at something one way or another. Otherwise, you're just going to be influenced by the very thing that you're being exposed to. You cannot separate your politics while you're watching a piece of entertainment or reading a piece of entertainment, because the politics in those stuff that you're reading, most of the time, is going to clash with your political views if you're a leftist. Does that mean you should not enjoy this stuff? Obviously, no. Enjoy this. Enjoy everything that you love. Just be aware that a lot of what you're reading may go against, what your political ideology. Now, that doesn't mean it applies to everything, because there's some stuff where the politics is not clear, where you may be able to like separate your politics from the stuff that you're enjoying. That would have been dumb. It really would have been. And this group of people that are pushing get politics out of movies are not really pushing politics out of movies. What they're really pushing for is get the politics I don't like out of movies, which I find this anti-SJW brainworm logic to be laughable. Okay, what politics are you talking about? If you're talking about wokeness, that's not fucking that's fucking just as reactionary as your ideology. It's just reactionary in a different way. You think freaking advocating for like woke imperialism makes you fucking somehow, progressive? There's nothing progressive about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is just fascist propaganda, except instead of a man, being a freaking, superhero, it's like, come on. A member of the Air Force changing, the way her suit is from the black and green, from the Kree to red, white, and blue, like the American colors. It's like, come on. I mean, come on. How fascist can you get when you're basically promoting, a woman could do the fascism just as well as a man can, if not better. That's just what it is. It's just stupid reactionary nonsense, like this third wave feminism which is just fascist, but with women wanting to be on top instead of men. That's just what it is. It's nothing revolutionary. It's nothing left wing. It's just reactionary horse shit that's being pushed in Hollywood. And simply having a like, oh, if you put a person of color doing the same thing, again, it's just a fascist, except they're not white. And I know I get flack for claiming everything I don't like is fascist. I don't hate the MCU. In all honesty, I acknowledge that objectively the MCU, there is a lot of fascist propaganda in those movies. You cannot ignore them, even if you say you enjoy those films. It's still there. Can something be interpreted? There might be anti-fascist stuff in the MCU. Of course there is anti-fascism in the MCU as well. But that doesn't erase the fact that there is a lot of fascism in the Marvel movies. Captain Marvel isn't woke. It's just woke imperialism and just promoting the Air Force. That's just what it is. It's just military propaganda. That's what Captain Marvel is. Captain America, at least the first of one, an enjoyable film. I consider it American exceptionalist propaganda. The Winter Soldier, I think it's, I consider that genuinely anti-fascist, criticizing the state for its spy programs, but that's not without its problems as well. With it still has the American exceptionalist propaganda in there. You're never gonna get away from that in a mainstream film. Like, no mainstream movie is going to go against America as a concept, because you just can't release it. the military has a lot of control, more than you would think, on how movies are made and how movies are, filmed, and how, America is depicted, how the military is depicted. Renegade Cut did a great video on this subject about the military in Hollywood. Like, there's just nothing you can do to escape the politics in film. Hell, Michael Parenti does a great lecture on this as well. And even though it may be dated, because the movies, that he talks about, they were political, then, and it was in your face. I think the propaganda has actually gotten worse, at least the right-wing propaganda in film. But I still think it's a valid, point to watch those two videos. I'll even give a link if you ask about the Renegade Cut video and the Michael Parenti video. If you actually still don't believe that politics are not in film, and I don't know how anyone in my audience, would not believe that. For those who are in my audience who are still not convinced, you're gonna have to do the investigation yourself, because you cannot look at this military propaganda of the U.S. military always being portrayed as the good guys, even though objectively, if you know anything about world history, if you know anything about current events, that's far from the truth. America as a whole is, has committed some of the worst atrocities in the history of the world. And there's no way Hollywood is going to portray those atrocities. If they do have a bad guy in the U.S. military in any of these films, it's just going to be that stereotypical, like they do for the police. It's just one bad apple, even though it's the whole fucking system that's fucking fucked. That's essentially what it is in a nutshell. And I know I freaking, went from one topic to another, but since we were talking about entertainment earlier, I just had to bring that up. Now, I don't see. I have to think for a second, because, this is a special kind of stream, and I do want it to at least be 2 hours. So, in conclusion, before I move on to another topic, the very concept of fandom being left wing, it needs to stop. I think trying to push this thing like fandom has always been left wing. I tried to do that a few years ago. It blew, and I've learned the hard way that no, that isn't true. It's bullshit. It's never been left wing. It's never going to be left wing. And no matter how much you want to wish it to be true, no matter how much you want to lie to yourself and pretend that it is otherwise, it isn't. It's reactionary. It always has been reactionary, and it always will be reactionary as long as this, system that we live in exists as it is. The culture of America influence how people look at things. The kind of things that we have all been exposed to when we were children, shaped our worldview. And I'm just going to say it, a lot of Americans hold fascist views. It's not something that any of us can really escape, because we're exposed to it as children, and we are indoctrinated to believe in American exceptionalism, since the day we're born. It's how we break out of that, fascistic mindset. Some don't break. A lot of Americans don't break out of it. In fact, their fascism becomes worse as they get older, because they believe more and more into this American exceptionalist nonsense that's been pushed on them all their lives. And those who are who reject American exceptionalism, we are shunned. And that is something that cannot be avoided. Even before I became a communist, I didn't believe in this American exceptionalist nonsense. I had some views that America as a whole, I don't know if I still have the video on my channel, but I did mention that there was a lot of good things about America, I thought at the time. It's just that full potential has never been allowed to be realized because of the bourgeoisie. But as I learned Marxism, studied history, I learned that that's just bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And we were pretty much are on a new topic now, but the more you study about American history, the more you realize everything I've been fed is bullshit. And I think that is the reason why you see a lot of people support Caleb. Caleb Maupin, for a lot of people, was probably their first Marxist that they've ever listened to. He was one of my first, I'm not going to lie. And I, at one point, believed everything Caleb said. I actually wanted to believe everything Caleb said because at the time, I needed something. I needed something to look at. I needed some hope that this country can change. Knowing that, but the more you learn about American history, the more you study Marxism, and the more you try to put this stuff into practice, try to talk to people about this sort of thing, the more you realize it's bullshit. So you have to do two things. You either ignore it or ignore it and actually stand by American exceptionalism. Or if you already don't have American exceptionalism and you reject it, and you've rejected it before becoming a Marxist, you have to reject it entirely. And that's what I did. Even, when I temporarily, this was last year, when I actually gave Caleb another shot, I thought, okay, I disagree with Caleb on almost everything, but I didn't think he was a bad guy. I didn't think he was malicious. But that changed. It's like I cannot believe anyone would know as much of American history and think that this country, isn't a fascist state, that that you can't, just have revolution in the same way as, China or Russia or Cuba or Vietnam, because the conditions are different. The conditions are way different. America, as a whole, it has the most revolutionary potential of the first world, but that's not saying a whole lot, because most of that revolutionary potential is going to be people in the lower classes, people that are living on a shoestring or who have no job whatsoever. Those people are going to be the most revolutionary. Those people are the most likely going to support a socialist movement. American exceptionalism from the left is not something that we should be pushing. And the very fact that this pushback, against American exceptionalism is justified. And the fact that you having supposed Marxists push this sort of shit is like, what? Are you fucking serious? It's like, we have to, we're not Marxists, we're not communists because we don't support the American experiment. I hate to break it to you, but most of the world does not support America. And every time I hear like the argument that the communists and the rest of the world has told people to stop saying death to America, I'm sorry, you're not going to convince me that those people are not anything but part of the middle class in the first place. American patriotism is the problem. American patriotism, what does it entail? What is it exactly? Why are we pushing for something that is, because, if you look at how things were 9/11, which, mind you, 9/11 wasn't that long ago, 20 years to be exact. And I could tell you from personal experience, because I was a kid at the time, I was a teenager, there was so much fucking pro-fucking war, sentiment from America, and so much fucking racism against Arabs, and so much Islamophobia, that's the kind of shit that you would expect out of patriotism. You cannot get a positive form of patriotism. Not to mention using freaking other examples from countries in the fucking third world is fucking chauvinistic as fuck, because those countries, their nationalism isn't the same as American patriotism. Someone in Venezuela being a nationalist is not the same thing as being a patriot in America. It's not the same fucking thing. Patriotism in the imperial core isn't for working class people. It's for the bourgeoisie. It doesn't serve anybody but the bourgeoisie. Anyone that pushes this position isn't a serious Marxist. They're actually a counter-revolutionary pushing for a fascist movement that it is festering, and it basically is muddying the waters, where it makes it difficult to tell who's a communist and who's a fascist. Like, this infantile position of American patriotism needs to stop. It needs to stop being pushed in the fucking communist fucking left. It's insane. I don't understand why to this day we are still arguing over American patriotism. We've seen the failures of American patriotism with Browderism. We've seen it happen. It's like, didn't fucking Mao say correct ideas come from practice? We've done American patriotism. It fucking failed, and using a failed strategy and claiming, oh, it's going to work this time is laughably, naive. If you want to push patriotism, be my guest. Just don't call yourself a Marxist. And yeah, call me an ultra if you want. I don't fucking care. Do it, because thank you, Caleb Cult. You've basically made, the word ultra, it's just a word now. It means nothing. Ultra doesn't mean anything. Simply disagreeing with you, your fucking infantile position is now being an ultra. Okay. Okay. If being an ultra means simply not supporting a fascist country like America, not supporting stupid positions like American patriotism, okay, whatever. When I hear, the masses, I don't hear, poor downtrodden folk. I don't hear like people that are living on a shoestring. When I think of masses, I think of white people. I think of white middle class people. That's the only thing that you think about. And honestly, I'm just gonna say this, for Caleb here, calling indigenous Maoists white is fucking racist. Anyone that actually pushes that bullshit that indigenous Maoists are not indigenous is racist, and it is fucking disgusting. Fuck off. Maoists are overwhelmingly non-white. Being anti-Maoist is being anti-black and being anti-indigenous. I don't make up these rules. I don't do it. I do it based on what I've seen from the infrared cult and Caleb Maupin. What I mostly see is white supremacists, are looking for another excuse to attack people of color. I hear them. It's like any of this like reformist bullshit. It's like these people are fucking social democrats. They're not fucking serious communists. If they really were, why are they doing this stupid debate bro like thing. Like, they're indulging in the very thing they claim to hate. But let's be real, these people don't hate debate bro culture. They only hate it when it comes from breadtube. In all honesty, is there really a difference between infrared and breadtube? If you look at the superficial differences, you look at their rhetoric being anti-black, anti-indigenous, and misogynist, anti-trans, homophobic. I don't see a difference between breadtube or the infrared cult. To me, they're the same thing. Yeah, they may have some minor differences here and there, but to me, it's just two groups of fascists raging war against each other. Let the fucking morons rage war with each other. Let fucking the Vosh cult and the infrared cult go to war. Who cares? It's nothing off my back. I'll just grab some popcorn and laugh at the dumbasses that actually think that Vosh is an intellectual or infrared is an intellectual. It's like, do it. I don't care. Do it. You're not going to convince people that are against America, the country, not the people, the country, to support America and love America. You're never going to convince us. You're never going to convince people that already hate this country to love it. You're not going to do that. And no, just because, you don't have a Twitter account or a fucking any sort of social media account doesn't mean that you don't exist. That is just first world bullshit. Like, anyone that says that is not a serious revolutionary. If someone like Comrade Number 3 were to show their face or reveal what their full name is, you want to know what would happen? They'd be fucking killed by fascists. They hide their names to protect their identity and to protect their families. I guess you first world people do not understand that concept. That it doesn't take that much to find someone's location if their name or their face is on social media. It wouldn't take that much. Yeah. Yeah. It is this very notion that to be a true communist in America, you have to support everything this country does. You have to be a patriot. Fuck that. No, fuck that. I refuse to be a patriot of a country that has genocided multiple ethnic groups, has propped up fascism since its inception, and supports one of the biggest evils of the world. Israel is one of the most evil countries to exist. You cannot separate Americanism from Israel, Australia, New Zealand, or England. Or Canada, for that matter. They're all the fucking same. They're colonial superpowers. And you know what? I do support decolonization, and that hasn't changed. I think if you're a serious Marxist, you would support decolonization. And no, decolonization doesn't mean we send every single European back to Europe. That's just a straw man pushed by people that do not understand decolonization. That's not what it is. It's giving the people who lost their land, give it back, and have them decide what to do with it. And you know what? I don't care. If you want to say it's not practical, I don't care. it's going to be a topic of discussion, whether you like it or not. Post-revolution, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a topic of discussion. If you're not for decolonization, then guess what? You're no different from the fucking Israelis. Israelis, like, it's amazing how these fucking people who oppose decolonization, they act the exact same way that an Israeli does. It's like, how are you any different from the far right, saying that, oh, that happened like, decades or centuries ago. Let's talk about the now. It's like, yeah, let's ignore the genocide, the racism and colonialism and the imperialism that has happened and still is happening. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, you think fucking North America is the only part of the continent that needs decolonization? I guess the Hawaiians don't deserve their land back. Because, Hawaii was forcibly taken from the Hawaiians. Same thing with Puerto Rico and the Philippines. I guess they don't deserve their land back. I support land back for the Irish and the Scottish too. To hell with this first world privilege. Oh, I don't want to, I'm afraid they're going to deport me. It's like, Jesus. And these people borderline pushed white genocide. I would not be surprised if you see Caleb Maupin pushing that bullshit in the future. Like, the very fact that I didn't see through that kind of thing sooner, it just proves us how blind I truly was and how desperate I was to hold on to something. I'm not going to lie. If I wasn't exposed to Jason first and I wasn't as versed into Marxism as I was, I might have bought into Caleb and Infrared's bullshit. I might have. Yes, they do. Every indigenous people that had their land stolen deserve to have their land back. There's no exceptions to this. There is no exceptions. Every single indigenous person that's alive today deserves their land back. They deserve it. And they can decide whatever they want to do with it. And I don't want to fucking hear it. There's these official representatives. It's like, yeah, well, they're supported by the government, so why should I, take what they have to say with a grain of salt? And I don't claim to speak for these people. I don't. I'm just speaking my perspective. And there's better Marxists than me that could discuss this. And I still have a long way to go. I have a lot more studying that I still have to do. And I'll probably revisit this topic probably multiple times as my education, increases. I still have a lot of reading to do. And, being a Marxist doesn't mean you just stop learning. You still learn. Like, the whole goal is to be more educated 6 months from now than you are now. Like, the whole point is to get more educated. I'm gonna inevitably make some mistakes. That's definitely a inevitability because I'm only human. I'll make mistakes and I'll have to self-criticize. And that's just one thing I don't see from this group at all. Like, say what you will about Jason, say what you will about Trav, like, say what you will about Socialism for All or Danky King or any of these people. They have self-criticized time and time again. And that's more than I can say for Caleb. I've not seen one time that he's self-criticized. I never seen cringe, unhinged self-criticize. No. Because these people, in their eyes, they can't do anything wrong. They can't admit that they're wrong. They can't admit that they may have handled that situation poorly. They can never admit that they've done something wrong. That's what it comes down to. You cannot fucking convince me otherwise that what I see rising from this undercurrent is a fascist movement. You cannot convince me that it isn't a fascist movement. Why is infrared talking like somebody that I would hear from Iran say, "Oh, the land was never there was a lot of the land that wasn't used," or talk about fucking talk in a way that I hear a right winger like Ben Shapiro talk. All of these people, they sound like fascists, and you cannot convince me that they're not. And unless I'm proven wrong, I'm just gonna be labeling them as such. I never wanted to, do this, but I don't care. It's the right thing to do. I think Caleb is a fascist. I think Haas is a fascist. And I think anybody that supports that what they believe are fascists. It's not because I don't like these people. It's what they believe. It's the way they talk down to people, the way, like, basically claiming that indigenous people that don't support their bullshit are not really indigenous. It's fucking disgusting. It really is disgusting how anyone can defend that. Like, and not to mention, I don't care. I really don't care if I say this. Fascism has no fucking room in a communist movement. Reactionary bullshit like American patriotism has no right in a movement. And lying about what people's positions are has no place in a Marxist movement. It doesn't. You wanted to fucking debate, do it honestly, and do it in a way that's in good faith. There's a good reason Caleb Maupin didn't debate Jason, because Jason would have, destroyed his points. Third worldism, you don't have to agree with it. You don't even have to, support its ideas. But if you're going to debate the ideas, do it in a way that's actually honest. Like, I've yet to hear one good argument against it, except from Maoists. Every single argument I've heard against it is mostly, like, usually from people that are from middle class backgrounds. It's never people who have actually studied Marxism in depth, who actually, like, you know what, this third worldism, and I've heard, people who don't agree with it, that they just see it as defeatism, which that's not what it is. Or that they just, like, list examples, of it, not being practical or whatever. There is good criticisms of third worldism, but I've never heard it from the Caleb camp. It's always the same, like, oh, this is anti-American, or blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't see how saying that America is not revolutionary is serving imperialism. I don't see how that is. I don't see how advocating for resistance in the first world is advocating for imperialism or supporting it. It's just so stupid. It's like the mental gymnastics that the Caleb cult will do to justify their backwards positions is just laughable. It really is laughable. It's laughable. I mean, if you're going to have a good argument against Maoism as well, at least come up with something that's substantial. Come up with something that actually makes sense, that is actually, a good critique, other than, like, oh, it's just ultra leftism, or it's just a bunch of edgy teenagers. It's like, I'm sorry, last time I checked, a lot of Maoists are actually grown-ass men, who are mostly people of color in their 20s and 30s. It's not freaking teenagers. That's just a generalization. I can easily say that MLs are overwhelmingly, a white boys club, and that would be a generalization, and I would deserve to be criticized for generalizing MLs, because that's not true. There's MLs from many different backgrounds, just like Maoists. It's like using And let's speaking of which, the ultra leftism, like this throwing around an ultra leftist, it's like you're an ultra leftist, 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 and you're an ultra leftist. The more you use the word ultra leftism, the more it doesn't have meaning. What does it fucking mean anymore? Because ultra leftism is usually adventurous, which that's exactly what it is. Resisting against the police, being part of Antifa, like defending, your communities from fascists, that is not fucking adventurism. That is not adventurism. Doing stupid shit like fucking, like doing acts of terrorism, that's adventurism. That's ultra leftism. Not disagreeing with somebody that because you don't, because they don't like what you have to say, or basically like, oh, you don't like, you're anti-American, so you're an ultra leftist. That's not what fucking ultra leftism is. Or another example, of what is not ultra leftism, being anti-American or not being an American patriot is not ultra leftism. It's mostly used against, people that are trying to form a anti, fascist, cell in America, and they're the ones that are usually labeled as ultra leftists. And I can't believe I'm defending the anarchists here, because I strongly disagree with anarchism, but the anarchists have done more to resist the fascists in the United States than these Maupinites have. Most of these Maupinites are just doing shit on the internet. While the anarchists as a whole are not just doing shit on the internet, they're doing shit on the ground. And I'm just going to say it, nobody's going to change my mind. I respect communists that do shit on the ground more than those who just do shit on the internet. Yeah, that includes me as well. I would rather do shit on the ground, but unfortunately, I do not have the means to do so because of where I'm located at. Financially, I don't have the means of traveling very far. So I have to do what I can. And I have nothing but respect for those who are fighting against fascism, wherever they are. And fascism needs to be resisted. And if you're anti-Antifa because, of reasons, then you're a fascist. You enable fascism by being anti-Antifa. Because last time I checked, Antifa is anti-fascist. It's like there's nothing revolutionary I see from the Maupinite cult. They're just a bunch of people, mostly white people, white leftists, pushing rhetoric that isn't that far removed from what I've seen from, fascists. And it just looks like another fascist movement. That's just what I see. They're just using Marxism, cherry-picking Lenin, Stalin, Mao, Engels, and Marx to justify their social democratic bullshit. None of them are actually serious about revolution. No fucking revolutionary, and this is a straw man I often hear from these people, advocates for violence sake. We recognize violence is inevitable. You're not going to build socialism peacefully. You may be able to do it in some countries, but America especially, no. Most sects of the population will fight to the death to ensure that socialism never comes here. You want to prove that there's a fascist movement like overwhelming in America? In my fucking state of California, there's this crazy lady. You could watch it in Socialism for All's critique on that debate. Was saying a bunch of really weird shit, like talking about, and not to mention dog whistling to fascists about coming here legally, and she's a Vietnamese woman. I don't even know where she's from Vietnam, But you have people like that in my state who are openly fascist running for Congress. Those are the kind of people you want to appeal to. It's like there's like a huge community you could appeal to, but these people purposely ignore the poorer parts of America, the dirty parts of America, what they see, because the poor working class and the lumpen are too dirty for them. That's what they see these people as. And I'm sorry if I'm an ultra leftist for saying the middle class are reactionary. They are. I don't trust the middle class. I don't trust the middle class not to stab us in the back if there ever was a revolution, because they're overwhelmingly fascist and they will overwhelmingly support a fascist takeover of the country. Who are the biggest supporters of the police? It's the fucking middle class. Who are the biggest supporters of the military? The middle class. Who are the biggest supporters of Trump? The middle class. And who are the biggest supporters of Joe Biden? The middle class. Who are going to be the biggest and loudest supporters of Kamala Harris? The middle class. You cannot trust these people. The middle class as a whole are lost. You may be able to get some of them on your side. You may be able to get the ones that have come from a working class background to join your side, but you cannot 100% trust these people, because a lot of the time they'll just betray you. There's a huge group of people these people could be appealing to. They could reach out to these people. And that's the people I want to reach out to. I want to reach out to the lumpen. I want to reach out to the middle, to the poor working class that are living on a shoestring. I know what it's like to be on a shoestring because I've been living it for all of my adult life. I know what it's like to live on a shoestring. And the fact that anyone would dare tell me they understand my class better than I understand my own, I'm sorry, buddy. I've lived poor all my life. I know what it's like to be poor and to be disabled. I know none of you know what it's like to have to wrestle with fucking government fucking bureaucrats all the goddamn time, or every few years having to deal with Social Security's fucking bullshit. Because you don't have to deal with that every fucking few years. No, you guys, you have your fucking jobs that pay you decently well, or you're fucking, doing your shit on fucking YouTube or Patreon. It doesn't fucking matter. It's like you guys have it pretty fucking easy compared to the people that would actually support your, a fucking socialist movement. And you know what? You don't need to get the, most of the population on your side. You only need a good amount on your side to succeed, like 20 to 30%. You don't need like the overwhelming majority of the fucking reactionaries that you're trying to appeal to. They don't want socialism. They don't fucking want your bullshit. These people will side with fucking fascism before they will side with a socialist movement. And these people will of course, anybody that actually doesn't exist on the internet, they're feds. Anybody that actually pushes positions that are different from them or that contradicts theirs, they're feds. I mean, it's the same racist and anti-Semitic nonsense. I mean, that we hear. I mean, if you look at fucking Caleb's audience as a whole, they're fucking, most of them are anti-Semitic, freaking white nationalists. I mean, what have I seen that isn't that? It's like I've had nothing but contempt from this group, from even before this falling out happened. They hate disabled people. They hate the lumpen. They hate poor working class people. Anyone that doesn't fucking look like a fucking, businessman is not fucking worth talking to these people. And I don't care. I hope I never have to talk about Caleb Maupin again. Because tomorrow I'm going to talk about some serious problems regarding being a disabled worker under capitalism. Because there are some serious issues I want to focus on. Freaking, cringe, unhinged. Let them do their shit about Jason. Let them do their shit. If they want to fucking do a jab at me, go fuck yourself. I don't fucking care. Do it. Because all their channel is fucking a bunch of drama. I mean, fucking Be Liberal has done nothing but thrive on drama and has even before, cringe unhinge existed. So yeah, let them do that. Let them do that. I will focus on doing stuff I would want to talk about. I don't want to talk about infrared. I don't want to talk about Caleb Maupin. I would rather talk about being disabled under capitalism. But I'm not going to have it be part of a stream like this because this is an open-ended stream. And tomorrow's stream is going to be on a specific topic because I think talking about disabled workers is a topic that Marxists have not talked about enough. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Because they're fucking nosballs. All of them are fucking nosballs. B-level included. And I'm just going to say this now. I do believe in guilt by association. I know people don't like this. I don't care. If you don't denounce people that have problematic positions or say racist things and things that are borderline fascist and you don't push back against that, guess what? You agree with it. You agree with it and you don't have a problem with it. Actions speak louder than words. And if you are not willing to speak out against the basically, oh, so what? The British would have done it too. Doesn't fucking matter. You don't fucking justify genocide against an entire, group of people. You don't justify genocide and slavery. You just don't fucking do it. You just don't. You don't fucking do it. Even if you disagree with your opponent, even if you hate your opponent that you're debating, you don't fucking do it. You just concede that it's fucking wrong and fucking move on. You don't fucking bend over backwards to defend like fucking slavery. That's just fucking stupid. It's like, oh, I want to own the libs. Oh, I want to own Jason. Just accept the fucking that Jason was right about that and moved on. That's all he had to do. But no, he had to fucking, bend over backwards to defend America by any means necessary. This is the kind of shit that you get from the right. They either downplay slavery or they act, or like fucking say, I don't care. Or say, get over it. It happened years ago. Decolonization isn't virtual signaling, which is another thing I'm going to have to say. It is not. It's giving the people who had their land stolen their land back so they could have their own independence. No, giving them one part of land is not enough. Give them their own land. Let them be in charge of it. And this may sound harsh. White people should not be in charge of a revolution in America. If we ever have one, it should not be white people. It should be the indigenous and the new African people. They should be in charge. We should be following them, not the other way around. And is it harsh for me to say that? Yeah, it is. But you know what? I don't fucking care. If you look at how white culture is, no. The few people, white communists out there who reject this bullshit and reject whiteness as a whole, we should not be trying to take leadership of these movements. And we should be actually following these people and actually helping them overthrow this fucking fascist state, not fucking trying to take over their movement. I mean, there's a reason why, like, black leftists don't trust, us. They don't trust us. They don't trust white leftists at all. And you know what? Why should they? When you see shit like they've been saying, like I've been saying, when you constantly see, borderline fascists who are nosballs, let's just call them nosballs, who claim, this and this and that, when they constantly talk down to people of color, constantly like berate them, or basically claim that they're not real communists, or they constantly backstab them, there's a good reason why Black Red Guard is jaded. There's a good reason why, many people of his community do not trust white communists. There's a good reason for that. Because when they see a white communist, they just see somebody that is no different from the white liberal. They really don't. GPAs. Caleb CPI. I mean, I know a good amount of the stream has been about, this kind of stuff, but this stuff has been prevalent for a while, and I had to say it. I know other people who have said it's better than I could and will. And realistically, the American Marxists, we have our work cut out for us. We really do. We are dealing with fascists who are the Trumpites, and then we're dealing with red fascists that use Marxism to push their fascist agenda. We have our work cut out for us. We really do. I really do. We have our work cut out for us. If Caleb Moffin were to run, I don't know. I cannot say. Anyway, I know this has been an anti-infrared and Caleb stream, mostly, despite being an open discussion. But it's been on my mind for a long time now, and I had to say it. Fuck the Caleb cult. Cults of personality have no place in Marxism. They have no place in a Marxist movement. Infantile leftism has no place in a Marxist movement. American patriotism is infantile. It's a proven failure. Like, this is the reason why communists have always failed in America, because they've never learned from their failures. It's always the fault of XXX, but it's never, their fault. It's like communists are never going to succeed in this country because they refuse to learn from their failures. Trying to cater to the worst of the population is never going to work if you're trying to build a Marxist movement. Your movement's going to be co-opted by fascists. There's a reason why the government don't see people like Caleb or Haas as a threat, because they're not. They don't challenge the system in any way. I wouldn't have as much issues with them if they weren't pushing social democratic positions and acting like they're Marxists. And no, this is not gatekeeping. This is not sectarianism. I see things how they are. I've been studying this shit for years. I have a lot to learn, and I'm humble enough to admit there's still a lot I don't know. The same can't be said for the people that constantly ridicule me and people like me because we don't believe in the bullshit that they are pushing. I don't claim to be right on everything, and I'm probably going to be wrong on a lot of things too. But I'm going to be man enough to admit that I was wrong. And if I ever, in the future make the same mistake I made a month ago by platforming somebody, and let him take over the stream completely, I will criticize myself for that. Self-criticism is an essential part of Marxism. But I actually do think that it's hypocritical as well. I think it's hypocritical in general to claim that you're for self-criticism, yet you don't do it yourself. And I'm going to call everybody out for this. If you don't self-criticize when you've made a mistake, then expecting other people to do what you won't do yourself is hypocritical. And no, you cannot do it in a private, internet form. If you're going to self-criticize, you will do it, publicly. When everyone can watch it, so because those people could. I've been pissed off at Trav for a few months now, and you know what? I will give Trav credit that he actually was a man and actually self-criticized on his channel. Regardless what my feelings, I'm going to give the man credit. He deserves credit and applause for self-criticizing himself, for doing what he's been doing. So Trav, if you're watching this, I applaud you for doing that. A real man apologizes and self-criticizes when they do something wrong. So, my final thoughts before I end this stream. Down with debate bro culture. Down with the Moppanite cult. Down with the infrared cult. Down with infantile leftism. Down with American patriotism. Long live the People's Revolution. See you guys tomorrow with my video on disabled workers. Later.